The single most pampered and privileged people on earth are left-wing liberal feminist women who get to preen and screech and cry all day about what victims they are, living in the full comforts of a capitalist society built by men, with men protecting them, and institutions effectively geared and dialed exactly to what they want to hear and listen to and believe. It is such a nice life for a left-wing lib activist, but they're constantly banging on about how oppressed they are inside of this most privileged land. In fact, AOC gives stadium speeches against the patriarchy and the oligarchy and gets all of her lobotomized, smooth-brain fans to clap like seals for lines like this.
Donald Trump is a criminal who was found guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud.
Oh, AOC cares about fraud now.
Sexual abuse.
Sexual.
Of course he's lying and abusing and manipulating the stock market too.
Remember, AOC is here to fight the oligarchy and the patriarchy, she says. She is fighting against the man, against the power structure. And so why don't we go ahead and ask AOC about this? I mean, wouldn't this be the perfect emblematic representation of what you're fighting against? Forcing a woman, I mean, you are an enlightened feminist, right? You are against the third worldism of locking women up in bed sheets like this. This happens, of course, in 47 different Muslim majority nations where women have to wear varying degrees of black bed sheet. But in a lot of places, well, this is what you get right here. Assassin's Creed, right? So what is it? It's a hijab. What does a hijab mean exactly? Well, there's different types, but here's sort of the overview here. It refers to the principle of modesty. It's placed on women, covering their hair, neck, and chest with a headscarf or veil, sometimes their full body totally covered. The Quran instructs women to draw veils over their heads and chests, and it talks about drawing outer garments over themselves for recognition and for protection. It's obligatory for Sunni and Shia scholars. Once a girl reaches puberty, we must cover them in a giant black bed sheet. It has different styles and different cultural interpretations, but the most common interpretation is that it is seen effectively as a symbol of oppression, according to feminists and critics. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not sitting here saying that the OnlyFansization of women is good either. I think there's a happy medium, quite frankly. And so while I think this should be illegal, I also think OnlyFans should be illegal. I think that you can find moderation in the middle, but AOC ain't doing that. AOC on her Fight the Patriarchy and Oligarchy tour didn't mention that it would be her who'd be wearing a hijab today. Well, would you look at that? Here's AOC wearing her little hijab and giving a little speech.
To our neighbors, our community, and to this country, we can bring light to our neighbors.
Wow, this is interesting. Why is AOC wearing this hijab? I thought she was against the patriarchy. What is she doing here? Well, this is AOC hijabing up in front of all of these Muslim men. She's like the only woman that was allowed. And all these Muslim men are doing some type of Muslim sit-in somewhere. Today we honor Prophet Ibrahim al-Allah. Remind us that sacrifice is not a burden, an opportunity to see ourselves part of something larger, to extend a hand, blah, blah, blah. I'm honored in New York City's first Muslim mayor, determined to lead the city in solidarity for groceries and housing. In solidarity, Eid Saeed, New York. Is there ever going to be any end to all of these made-up holidays? Okay. Wishing you a joyous, blessed Eid al-Adha to those observing today. Huh? Special day in our communities and your family. Eid Mubarak, says AOC. Oh, wow. Well, it looks like the patriarchy and the oppression is perfectly fine to wear in America. This is what fighting the patriarchy looks like. AOC. AOC should try to go inside of a mosque and pray. See what happens. Latina AOC is now wearing a hijab. That's how things are going in New York. This Islamification of New York City. Mayor Mandami is wearing Muslim garb. He's wearing some type of, I don't know, dress. Giant dress. So way to go, dude. AOC now is wearing a hijab while Mandami smirks behind her. How embarrassing. New York City Ugandan mayor is attending events today wearing a man dress. AOC is culturally appropriating wearing a hijab. What has happened in New York City? I guess she's Muslim now? Pandering to different crowds once again. AOC, ladies and gentlemen, champion of women's rights and open borders. Women's rights, open borders, as AOC speaks behind a giant bulletproof wall. AOC is now wearing a hijab. Beyond pathetic. AOC, hijab day. What is she wearing? AOC is a Muslim now. Okay. Remember that AOC, who called for a global intifada, said it's a lie.
You guys had a very woman. Do you agree with Zoran that we should globalize the Intifada? You were just with them this morning. You guys had a very nice breakfast. I saw you. I saw your sign.
Congresswoman Mandani, the future leader of the Democrat Party.
I guess she says it's a lie, according to the clip. Okay. Sitting congresswoman wearing a hijab. Well, in the United States is unbelievable. This is an invasion. The left's kabuki theater constantly consume donning ethnic dress or terrorist garb, faking Indian accents or broken English while speaking down to blacks. They are flat out deranged. It does happen. Democrats absolutely love the lack of separation between church and state here. What do you think? Okay. So here's what it was. Not a lot of women here. Very interesting. Well, that's because they segregate, actually, in their Muslim prayer. And that's what's going on. So it'd be really nice for people to wake up and to understand the reason why these kind of big public demonstrations and prayers are going on is because it is about colonization. It's about shoving it in your face. The left isn't about separation of church and state. They're about separation of Christianity from America. You see, the left actually understands something that conservatives don't, or we've just become too fat and happy and didn't think that it could happen to us, but it happens to all cultures, which is that you become the people you bring here, the people who live here, the tradition of the people who live in the land. If you let them conquer your land, you'll become that. It says so in Deuteronomy. Careful of the foreigners. If you let too many in, then you will become their slave and they will be your masters. You will have no money to lend to them. They will have all the treasures of your land. They will become the majority. They'll rule over you. It says so right there in the Bible. You got to be careful about this kind of stuff. They don't assimilate. They take over because they know something conservatives don't. A nation isn't a list of values that somebody reads off a card. It's not nice words written on paper hundreds of years ago. It's the people. If America ceases to have European Christians in it, and we cease to be the majority, then America fundamentally changes. It becomes something else. When you import the people, you import the nation, and your nation dies. Yes, when you take someone from Somalia, they don't assimilate, and that's plainly obvious. Go travel to Minneapolis. So the left is going to continue to do this. It's conquest. It's colonization. Mandami is carrying out the Islamization of Islamic conquest in New York. We told you. Why is she wearing a hijab? She's not in a mosque or an Islamic theocracy. She's submitted to the patriarchy. AOC advocating for women's rights, speaking out against the patriarchy, immediately capitulating and covering up as soon as she gets the opportunity to. I'm old enough to remember when socialists pretended to be afraid of Christians turning America into the handmaiden's tale. Here they are bowing down to radical Islam, which is the most oppressive and sexist ideology on earth. Everything they do is fraudulent. They stand for nothing but power. Facts. ladies and gentlemen, I hope that brought you a little chuckle, but also a renewed understanding of what we're actually fighting. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Keep fighting.